O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Zach Brown's Southern Grind Knives. Only the best make the cut. The Whitetail Institute of North America, the gold standard for food plots. Tough Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings. Works, power and garden tools. Fisher's Choice, the ideal solution to live bait. True Turn Hooks, hook more fish. Roadrunner Lures, outfishing ordinary lures since 1959. Crocodile Bay Lodge, Costa Rica's best fishing and resort destination. And by O'Neill's new Real Gun and Marine Oils, naturally the best. From Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangled studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the program. 2 hours of outdoors headed your way, live on a Saturday morning. The number one live outdoor-based radio talk show in the world, and we invite your participation. This program is brought to you by some wonderful folks, and I won't go through the whole list, but you know who they are, and we hope that you'll support their products, some excellent brands. Well, what are we going to do today? As usual, we'll have the radio prize package, quite a prize package. You have to put your brain in gear. It's a relatively simple question, but you'll have an opportunity to answer and win a prize package. We have the Southern Grind guest book questions, and let's see, what else will we do? We'll have the Medal of Honor tribute. We'll talk about turkey hunting, springtime fishing, and I have some questions for you, and I hope you'll participate. Telephone number for the show for around the Atlanta area or the Atlanta marketing, it's 404-872-0750. That's 404-872-0750. Or outside the Atlanta calling area and on the SB Nation nationwide from Maine to California, Seattle to Florida, on the SB Nation, the telephone number is 800-972-8255. 800-972-8255. I'd love to hear from you today, especially Florida. I hadn't been getting very many calls from Florida lately. Love to hear from you and see how the springtime fishing is. Probably already over down there. Love to hear that, and whether you're involving yourself now in hog hunting. It's extremely popular, and we hope that you'll maybe do that. Lastly, then, too, a brand new little thing we'll try today. If you know about my book, O'Neill Outside, People and Places Along the Way, when we get back from this break, I'm going to take a couple of minutes and read you one of the chapters in that book. And you can locate that book at my website, along with many other things that we will mention. So, I hope you'll join me today on O'Neill Outside, People and Places Along the Way, that reading, and for us for 2 hours of outdoors. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to take a moment. First of all, the telephone numbers for the show are 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. We're going to take a moment out of the following because, first of all, let me tell you that you can reach us on Facebook at O'Neill Outside, and beyond that, it's just me. And we're going to take a moment here and read a chapter in my book, and I'll show it to the television audience, the Facebook audience. It's People and Places Along the Way, O'Neill Outside. So I've had a lot of people suggest that, they wanted to hear about it before they bought one, which you can buy on Amazon. So here we go. Bear with me for a moment. It's 12 after the hour. Chapter 2. It was during my 19th summer that I decided it might be worthwhile to take my younger brother, 11 years old at the time, and my girlfriend of recent vintage out for an evening of fishing. I was an experienced fisherman. Not many guys were at that age, and I felt I needed to impress her with my knowledge and aptitude. Well, maybe I didn't think things through. Anyway, I had been catching some crappie around the docks at the Norris Lake near Lithonia, Georgia, close by. A short trip from 7 to midnight didn't seem too difficult. Knowing about the lake, the docks, and the general layout would serve us well, and we'd soon be located. We did locate a 14-foot aluminum boat at the community dock, and so with lanterns and gear in hand, off we went into the gathering darkness. Well, first of all, my brother lost the only paddle overboard, and it was never retrieved. So I scrounged a lengthy 2x4, 12 feet long, from the bank, and I rowed on kayak style toward a destination not yet realized. That necessary paddling style, unfortunately, wet the matches in my shirt pocket. That situation unfurled itself as we reached the designated dock. No matches for the lantern. Press on. We were there, so we'll fish anyway. Hands and feet scrambled in the darkness on the uneven planks, and my tackle box was kicked over into the water and floated away. I was just 18, so I was a little bit upset, but anyway, now no light, no tackle, little resolve, so give up and live to fish another day. As I tied the stern line to the post at the dock after returning, I was assured by my date that the bow line was likewise secured. The only female on this little jaunt needed to go to the little girl's room. That's okay. You proceed. I will handle everything and unload the boat. Now alone, I placed the remaining gear on the dock and stepped out. Secured bow line? No. And I quickly did an acrobatic split and plunged into the dark water head first. My returning date noticed the soggy footprints on the pavement after I resurfaced, and then recalled the part about the bow line. Teenage giggles mounted into infectious laughter as she surveyed the scene. You got to remember now, these two people were just 18 years old. There I stood, no glasses. They were lost during the impromptu dive. I was soaked to the bone, and my dignity dripping wet. Hardly the impressive conclusion I had envisioned. Anyway, we got through that evening, sense of humor finely tuned, knowing a great deal how we would react to and eventually overcome adversity. It was kind of a rehearsal, I guess, that first fishing trip. We're still paddling, that girl and I, sometimes ill-equipped, but always willing to go back and start over with dedicated love and shared humor. We've been together now for 57 years and married almost for 54.
I'm a saint.
Yes, you are. That's a sample. This book, O'Neill Outside, is not a how-to. It's memories, reminiscences, people I've met, places I've been, and my observations of those people and places and the descriptions of the same. You can buy your own copy at Amazon.com. You can get an Audible pretty soon, and I will read that book to you so you can listen in the truck. Or you can go to my website at o'neilloutside.com, order the book there, and I will personally sign it for you if that's what you desire. So, there we are. Woman Williams is here.
Earlier than usual.
Earlier than usual, that's right. Well, how were you sleeping, baby?
I was sleeping good till the clock went off.
Boy, me too. Man, we had our cooking segment production this week here at the cabin. It's Swaggerty's cooking segment, Cooking with Swaggerty's, and that took preparation of, completion of. It took 2.5 days, and what a mess.
You have no idea.
But the recipes from Swag, all right, this is the one I wanted to pass along to you this morning. The very next, go buy, and they're all over the country, some Swaggerty's roll sausage, a chub, 1 pound chub of sausage, and use that the next time you you are going to put hamburgers on the grill. Mix it 50-50, ground beef and Swaggerty's sausage.
I think we used ground sirloin.
Was it? Yeah,
I
ground
think
sirloin.
It was, yes.
That's the best. That's as good a hamburger as you could put in your mouth.
It was wonderful.
Ground sirloin it's not seasoned. Ground beef, it's not seasoned. Of course, you can do it yourself. But boy, that Swaggerty sausage is.
It is, and it makes it very moist.
Oh, man.
Those were some of the best hamburgers I've ever had.
Oh, absolutely. The Swaggerty sausage and ground sirloin. Yes, ma'am.
We've done a version of that before, but there's just something really special. Maybe it was using the ground sirloin instead of hamburger.
Could be. But you get. I tell you what would be good. We didn't do it. Was we should have used Swaggerty's all natural hot sausage.
You got to put hot in everything.
Well, I know. I'm a hot guy. 19 after the hour.
Well, let me tell you this.
Yes.
You need to pass this one on.
Okay.
Brownies made with Swaggerty's sausage. And before you think about throwing up, which I did think about it when they told me we were going to fix it, you just can't imagine
Swaggerty's
what it does. They were wonderful. It was a little bit almost like a spice cake.
Mm-hmm. Swaggerty's sausage brownies with
raisins and nuts.
Walnuts.
In it. Yeah, walnuts. That's
walnuts
right.
and raisins and Swaggerty sausage in brownies.
In a caramel sauce to go over it. They were just
we ate it all.
Yes.
We ate it all.
There was none of that left.
Absolutely. It's almost 21 after the hour. Wade, you hold on. As soon as we get back from this break, I will take your call. The telephone numbers for you to be in touch with the show. You can be with us on Facebook with your questions or comments, or call O'Neill Outside at 404-872-0750, or outside the Atlanta calling area, it's 800-972-8255. I'd love to get a call from Florida. We hadn't had any calls from Florida lately, and I know we're all over the place down there via the SB Nation and WSB Radio. So take a moment. You don't have to say anything much, but give us a call just to say hello. We always appreciate the fact that the radio program gets all over 48 states and often into foreign countries via the internet, iPad, iPhone, and all that sort of thing. So there you are. A lot of things to do this morning. We'll take the call from Wade when we get back, and the radio prize package will be headed your way. We'll be back. Welcome back. 25 after the hour. We're going to get to the calls now. That we have a busy morning, but let's try. First of all, he's been holding on quite a while. Let's try for Wade. He's calling from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Good morning, Wade. Welcome to the program.
Morning, O'Neill. How you doing this morning, sir?
Wonderful, wonderful. How about you? Got a great weekend planned?
Good deal. Me too. I got a 3-day weekend this weekend. I'm off Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
Got to tell you something happened yesterday. Got tickled at it. We went up to the local grocery store, which ain't that far. We took the back road right over here, and about a half mile from the house, there's a 90-degree turn right there. There's a big old field on the side. They had soybeans in it last year. Well, we was coming back from the store. Out there in the middle of the field, you can see them about 100 yards off. I said, Gary, what is that out there in the middle of the field? There's a big old thunder chicken in full strut out in the middle of a big old field. We slowed down, hit about 50 yards from the road. We got right up to him. We slowed down. I said, Gary, stop. What? I said, stop him, see if I can give him the gobble. And I went, with my mouth, that joker went to town. But I was curious. There was a storm rolling up, O'Neill. And it had just started thundering when we left the grocery store. It ain't about a 7-8 minute ride. Now I've heard they'll gobble at thunder. Have you ever heard that?
They'll gobble at thunder. One of the things that you might do if you stick your head out and call and he doesn't respond, one of the things you could do is blow your horn.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And he'll gobble.
I've had people tell me they'd get out of the truck and shut the door and allow the door. And he said his buddy with him shut the door, wasn't thinking about being quiet. Said one gobble not that far from him.
That's exactly right. Isn't that funny when you think about it? That when a wild turkey the eastern wild turkey especially. But when he's not in strut, he's really quite ugly. But when he goes into strut and fluffs up, he's beautiful.
That's the first time I've seen one like it. But in the middle of a field, about maybe an hour and a half before dark, maybe 2 hours before dark. But I sent Longman Williams a thing on Facebook. My buddy's down there in Florida, and they went to eat, I guess it was Thursday night. And coming back, somebody had run over about a 4-foot alligator. And my buddy Rich is with him, his nickname is Jamaica. There's a picture on Facebook of him holding. I sent Longman Williams' name. I ain't going to say it on radio. Well, like I said, everybody's his buddy Kyle Skinner, my good buddy Kyle, I fish with a lot. They down there working on the cabin in Florida. Put a new bed, turned the back porch into a bedroom, put another bathroom on it, and built a deck on it.
Well, y'all are really industrious. I'm proud of you.
Oh, it's beautiful down there. He got a good deal on it.
I'm glad to hear that. Listen, it's a good story. I appreciate you taking the time to call and for listening to the program. You have a great weekend, pal.
I appreciate it, Nelson. Listen, I'm watching you live. I like your coffee cup.
All right. Do you want me to leave you on?
Yeah, leave me on hold where I can listen to you. Cause I'm watching you on podcast, but I hear you better on the phone.
Okay. I'll leave you on hold. There you are, pal. All right. We had asked for some callers from Florida, so he's accommodating us very well. Let's talk to Alan. He's calling O'Neill Outside from Tallahassee, Florida. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, O'Neill. How y'all doing, Miss Gail?
Hey, where are you headed this morning?
Bright and early.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.
You talk about fishing. Yeah, down here, I mean, I haven't been in a couple of weeks, but, I mean, the bass fishing has been really well. I mean, all throughout North Florida.
Good.
But what I'm looking forward to is the brim season's fixing to start with these big shell cracker brim that you can't get your hand around.
Oh, boy.
The May full moon, the June full moon, and the July full moon. I mean, you talk about having some fun now. It's catching these big old brim. But the bass fishing is still pretty good down here. I mean, that's even off the bank. I mean, I've got an app for most of the local area around here, and you see people on there all the time with some really nice fish they're catching even off the bank, you know.
You know, do you happen to know what the world record is for a bluegill?
No, not really, but I'm sure it can be a pretty good size.
It's over 5 pounds.
I can see that. I can see it because
I tell you what, a brim
shell crackers out here, you have to put your foot on them to get your hook out because you can't even get your hand on them.
Yeah, a shell cracker's a formidable critter. I don't know what the record is for shell cracker. I imagine it's up in the 7 or 8 pound range, and that's a real whopper, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're beautiful color too. They're copper, and you know, got a little purple in them, and even the brim down here, I mean, are gorgeous too. I mean, but that's what I'm looking forward to. You know, after bass fishing, now I go get my long 7-foot rod. You know, I'm a medium light, put about 4-pound test line on it, and every time you catch one, it's like catching a 10-pound bass, you know.
It's a good thing brim don't get any bigger or they'd pull you in the water.
Well, the reason I was calling O'Neill, I've been, you know, watching some of the shows on TV, some of these guys fishing, and I noticed some of them fishing with colored line, like yellow, red, blue. Of course, braid is green, I know that. Is there a reason why you would fish with a colored line?
Well, in most cases that I've done before, and fishermen I've been with, if they'll use a colored line, they can detect the strike visually.
Oh,
especially if they're bass fishing.
It.
But usually they'll use a leader, but they can detect the strike visually.
Okay. Well, I was wondering why we would
a lot of saltwater guys use that.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of these guys, you know, I see some of them like Zorn and some of them guys fishing, you know, freshwater with it, you know. A lot of them smallmouth mainly, but I mean, I see a lot of them using color line, but it's so they can see the line. Because mine, I usually attack with my fingers, you know. I can feel it with my fingers or, you know, in my palm of my hand. And then my last question is, like for a worm hook a crankbait or a spinnerbait, do you use the same knot? I use a polymer knot pretty much for everything.
I think you should use the knot that you have practiced on and can tie successfully correctly.
Okay.
A lot of great knots, but the one that you're used to tying so that you don't foul it up.
Well,
because
what's
lot
your
of these
favorite
knots,
knot?
Well, I use what's called a quick knot.
Okay.
And I can't demo it, but I learned that something called a quick knot from Jim Bagley about 20 years ago when I had Bagley Baits as a sponsor. And it's really quickly and easily tied, and this is the reason I like that knot, is when you pull it tight, and if you've rolled the line or it's uneven or you've made a mistake, it'll break. If it doesn't break, then you've tied it correctly.
Okay.
And it very seldom ever happens, but that was always to me kind of a safety point. So if I hadn't been paying attention and I pulled the line tight, it would break. It's called a quick knot. I imagine there's a little book, or you can find out on the internet about how to tie it. It's easily done. But hey, that Palomar knot is a great knot. The Palomar knot may be the best knot of all.
I mean, that's all I've tied ever since I was a kid. You know, my dad taught me that knot a long time ago, and I mean, I use it on everything. But I see some of these guys, you know, when they like their crankbaits, they use a different knot. Their spinnerbaits, they use a different knot. I don't know why, but
well, sometimes with a crankbait, people will tie what's called a loop knot. It's kind of like having it's a loop to the bait, which allows the bait a little bit more wiggle.
Well, I use a loop. I use a loop knot for my little jigs when I'm crappie fishing. You know.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
There you are. Just any knot's fine as long as you tie it correctly.
Yeah, that's the whole key, ain't it? Because a fish will show you it ain't tied right real quick.
You betcha. Hey, I'm glad to hear from you, sir.
All right, guys. Good to see you, y'all too. It was good to hear you, Miss Gail.
Good deal, and I hope to hear from you next week, Wade. Pardon me, Alan. I'm sorry. Let me hear from you next week. I always love to hear from Florida folks.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
You bet. See you soon, pal. There we go. Let me see how to droop that. Not working. Corey, you'll have to. There we go. All right. It's 35 after the hour. We have time, I believe, to get the radio prize package question out there. If we'll scoot right along. And here's Woman Williams.
Okay, if you'd like to win this week's prize package, all you have to do is be 18 years old or older and have not won a package in the last year.
Right.
I think that's right. Okay.
That's good.
And you can do this. You can win a bottle of O'Neill's Oils, a Bojangles gift card, a Swaggerty's voucher for some delicious products, Whitetail Institute DVD, Real Tree hat and decal combo, Georgia DNR Regulations magazine, Data Sport Fish and Game Forecaster, Ducan's Choice Worms, Thunder Chicken by Captain Mark Noble, Thorogood Boots hat, Arctic Ice freezer pack, and 2 packages of Bug Band and wristband. And we really need them up here.
We use those freezer packs this week. They work great.
They did.
That's right. And here is your question. O'Neill has told you many, many times ad nauseum what is my favorite color spinnerbait for springtime fishing. Any color's fine as long as it's. Give us a call, 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. The first caller with the correct answer wins the radio prize package. That's kind of nice. We give away a lot of stuff on the show, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, well, the sponsors give away a lot of stuff on the show. I don't give away anything. So, there you are. This is O'Neill outside. Stay right there. Call us with your correct answer, and we'll be back. 40 minutes after the hour. This is O'Neill outside, and we've been on the air for how long? 28 years now? Oh, my goodness. Well, we do have the answer to the radio prize package. So let's get to that right away, and we'll get that out of the way and enjoy your calls. And it's time for the Southern Grind guest book. So the question was, over the years, I've told you over and over again, what is my favorite color spinnerbait? As in, let's talk to Joe. Where are you calling from, Joe?
We're calling from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Alpharetta. Okay. I'll let you finish the sentence. Ready?
Chartreuse.
Any
color.
Any color's fine.
That's right, as long as it's chartreuse.
That's right. Well, you could have only gotten that from listening to the radio program, and I appreciate that very, very much. And it turned out well today for you to get up early for whatever reason to listen to the show.
Well, I appreciate it. I listen almost every Saturday. We love to go fishing early in the morning, get that early bite in, and so that's why we're up this hour. And it's just like a lot of other people, I guess.
Good. Where are you headed this morning, sir?
We're going up to Lake Lanier here. Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. Do you fish the? Let me ask you a question. Do you fish the dock lights around on the lake?
I used to fish at night quite a bit, and but I haven't been out recently. And I keep hearing about all the dock lights. That's on my to-do list. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, good deal. That is a dependable strategy.
I know. I hear it up, and all the posts on Facebook about it. It gets you fired out to go out there late at night and do that.
You betcha. All right, my good friend, it turned out well for you. Have we received all your information so we can send you the prize pack?
Yeah, we're good to go on that.
Good deal. Expect it in a couple of weeks, pal. Thank you for calling the show.
Thank you, O'Neill.
You bet. See you soon, I hope. There you are, and good luck today. Before we get to the Southern Grind guest book, let's go ahead and chat with Steve. He's calling from Gainesville, Georgia. And good morning, Steve. It's O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. Welcome.
Well, how you doing, O'Neill?
Good. We got to you fast, didn't we?
Yeah, I sure did. Well, I happened to be
how
up
about that?
driving around. I got to get out this morning and do a little work, so I was listening like I normally do. My question is,
good to hear from you.
We moved up here onto Lake Lanier, and we live right on the lake, and we've got all kinds of wildlife out here. We've had a little pack of turkeys in the backyard lately, but I count about 16 deer that live on our property. And we've got, sometimes they'll all be right up in the front yard eating all my wife's plants. And what I was trying to figure out is, we don't want to run them off because we sure like them, but is there something I can plant to feed them that will keep them away from the flowers and stuff like that? Is there something that deer don't like that I might want to plant up front so that they keep from eating the good stuff?
Well, Steve, if you plant something they don't like, then they're going to zero in on your flowers. But let me point you to somebody who has a wealth of knowledge that can probably help you with this. Ready? I want you to telephone the Whitetail Institute. Those are wild game seed people, and they are located in Alabama. And you will not speak to a computer. You will speak to a real live person, and he will entertain your question and probably give you many more options than I ever could. It's the Whitetail Institute, 688-3030.
All right. Well, thank you.
Say again. Yeah, you can't go wrong. They'll want to know where you live. What's the woody part? Are you in the woods? Are you in the pines? So on and so forth. They will give you lots of options that will apply to your questions.
Excellent.
So there you are.
I'll go ahead and give them a call. Thank you very much, sir. Could I ask you one quick other question? All right. Once again, we live on the lake, and my kids love going fishing, and I used to wear them out, but I can tell you, I haven't caught a thing in the last couple of summers. And we go out and we troll around. We get down to the docks. I've put out the crappie light. What would be a good surefire way to keep my kids interested? what would I want to fish for out there? What can I use on the lake? I mean, up north we used to use corn and stuff. You're not allowed to do that.
I'm gonna give you two things to do around your dock. How deep is the water around your dock?
About 9-10 feet.
Okay, do two things. I guarantee you that your dock will become a fish factory. Ready?
All right.
Go buy two bales of hay. Tie them to a concrete block and tie the concrete block back to the dock. Okay. Weight those things down out from around the dock. As all of that hay disintegrates, it sets up the whole food chain around your dock. The second thing is, see, Nate, and it helps with the food chain, but you won't get hung up on it. It's not like sinking a tree, which is illegal on Lake Lanier.
Yes, sir.
The second thing to do is get two big burlap bags, fill them up with a couple of bricks, and fill them up with dry dog food.
Okay.
Tie them to the dock and tie a good long rope to the dock and throw them out there around the dock. Not under the dock, but around the dock. You might put one underneath the dock, but that's okay. And as the dog food disintegrates, there'll be fish all over your dock.
All right.
But as it disintegrates, you will be able to pick up the bag and bring it back and refill it.
Excellent.
Now, you've just created a fish factory around your dock.
All right. Well, that's what I need, because I've been skunking them, and they think that the great white fish hunter over here is a dud. So I'm gonna enjoy that.
Well,
Thank you.
It's going to work for you. Do it the next couple of weeks. In the summer, the fish around your dock will be loaded.
Awesome. Thanks, man. They'll really appreciate it.
It works completely. You bet. Right. Give it a try and let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir. Have a great morning.
The only other thing I would tell you to do is to let your children help you do that and explain to them why it will work. They will have a story to tell about fishing when they go back to school or to their friends. How about that? Okay, there you go. Now let's. You got anything on Facebook over there, honey? No, everybody's asleep on Facebook this morning. 48 after the hour. 404-872-0750. 800-972-8255. It's time for the Southern Grind Guest Book. And you can leave a question, a comment, an observation at o'neilloutside.com, right there on the homepage, and you will be able to leave your question, and I will answer it on the air. Here's a note from Randy Croy. He's in Moore, South Carolina. He asks, during the nesting period, does a wild turkey sit on her nest overnight or roost in a tree and then return to the nest in the morning? My experience, Randy, is that she incubates those eggs other than when she goes to get something to eat or get some water to drink, or if something drives her off the nest. She doesn't go back to the tree and leave the nest unguarded. She's incubating those nests. Let's see, from George Spencer in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. I only get your website. You should be on the Outdoor Channel so I could watch. We're not on the Outdoor Channel, George. We are on the Pursuit Network, and if you have the Dish Network or DirecTV, you can watch the show. It's on there. And, of course, you can go to my website, watch all the shows at my website under television, o'neilloutside.net/television, or you can watch it on YouTube. From Steve Dixon. Let's see, my timing is good. Steve Dixon in Winter Park, Florida. It's the best show on TV. I call it the learning show. My question is there a way to tell the sex of a channel catfish? Not the shape, but a male will have one vent between his anal fins, and you'll see a little tag there, and that's how he dispenses his sperm. A female catfish will have two vents or holes next to her pelvic fins. See what you learned today? Isn't that wonderful?
I'm amazed. I was wondering how you were going to explain that.
Okay. It's 50 minutes after the hour. From Walter Metz. I hope you come back on TV. I really like your show. You're down to earth about everything. I'm doing my best, pal. Let us know in Pennsylvania if you plan on coming back on. It's on the Pursuit channel. I'm sorry it's hard to get, but go to my website. You can watch all the shows there without commercials. Okay. Rudy Holloway from Fort Valley, Georgia. He says he really likes to show spots in nature and says that we do a wonderful job showcasing Georgia's hunting and fishing. Thank you very much for the compliment. Okay, from James Little in Monroe, North Carolina. Enjoy your shows. He says he would love a knife. You can buy one. What is your primary key to bait color when bass fishing? If I'm using a crankbait or a spinnerbait or something of that nature, I try to match the color of the primary bait fish. If I'm using a plastic worm, I match the color to the stain level of the water, like this. Stained water, dark day, cloudy, dark bait. Bright color, clear water, clear color or light colored bait. So there's your spinnerbait, your crankbaits, and those are those colors, and it's determined by the light penetration in the water. Dark day, dark bait, light day, light bait. Have I got time for one more? Okay, from Holly Hill, Florida, Paul Schrader. I enjoy your show and the different places you visit. Can you recommend, I can't read, the best way to store and freeze fresh caught fish? Put them in a plastic bag with water. Freeze them in water in the bag. You agree?
I'll go along with that.
Okay. Yeah, freeze them in the water. Don't just put them in a bag because they'll freeze or burn. Okay, I got to get out of here. This is O'Neill Outside, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255, and we will entertain your calls upon our return. This is O'Neill along with Woman Williams and a full-time crew. Well, we're having fun here. I hope you are by listening to the program. We got a couple of calls we need to round up here. Number one is Philip calling from Decula, Georgia. What a great name for a place. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, O'Neill. How you doing, buddy?
Wonderful, wonderful. You got a good weekend planned?
I actually don't, man. I'm working all this weekend, but my question is, I have a couple of friends that are down in Argentina right now, and they are on one of these high-volume dove shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that?
I have not, but I only hear good things about the activity.
Oh, wow. I would have figured you, of all people, had been down there probably 3 times, man. We've been trying to get this together for a couple of years.
Uh-huh. No, I've never been, and one of the reasons that I think that has kept me from doing that, my rifle sponsor over the last 25 years is CVA muzzleloaders.
Okay.
You don't hunt doves with a muzzleloader.
Oh, no, you certainly do not.
So I don't have a shotgun that I need to showcase.
Okay, so you don't bird shoot for pleasure then?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Not in a long. I do a little dove hunting, but not. I quail hunt, and that's a shotgun. But I do that mostly when it's someone's won a prize or they've made a contribution to some charity.
I have tried to win several of those muzzle loaders. I'm familiar with what you're talking about. Then a question I have that you probably can help me with. I am about to take a small vacation, about a week and a half, to Florida on the Gulf side. I actually had all of my fishing gear and tackle stolen recently. And I just wanted your opinion on something I could fish with, like right off the beach. Not too expensive, not too crazy, like advanced, but just your recommendation for something maybe small enough that I can bring back and still use when I'm finished. That makes sense?
That's tough, because what you're going to use, if you're going to fish off the beach or a pier?
Probably a little bit of both, but mainly the beach.
Okay. I'm running out of time, pal. I got a hard break coming up. If you don't mind, I'm going to put you on hold.
That's fine.
And hold, and we'll get to that question, but it'll be a few minutes.
From Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangles studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Welcome, everyone. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. Woman Williams is with me this morning. Corey and the gang are at WSB. Karen and Brian are in Peachtree City, and we're on the SB Nation Network, Seattle to L.A. to Miami to Maine, and we hope you'll join us in the program on WSB AM and 95.5 FM. This is the second hour of the Outdoor Show. It's live, and it is the largest #1 live outdoor-based radio talk show in the country. And welcome to the program. We've got another hour. We have a lot of advice, your calls, and we'd love to have you involved in the program. The telephone numbers are 404-872-0750, or outside the Atlanta calling area is 800-972-8255, and you may contact us also at Facebook, O'Neill Outside, and leave your questions there. We'll be getting to those. We're brought to you by some wonderful people: Timbuktu Outdoors, Stripling's General Store, Arctic Ice Pack, Zach Brown Southern Grind Knives, the Governor's Gun Club, Tough Shed, and some awfully good people, and they're always involved in the program, and we welcome that. One of the things I want to get to before we take our first break is, in the summer of 2020, on June the 14th, summer of 2020, O'Neill and Gail, and already a long list of people, are going to go to Alaska on a cruise to Alaska out of Seattle. We would love to have you join us. I've got some special pricing, special cabins, and I can tell you, as a result of 2 other trips that we made to Alaska a few years ago, I can tell you that is one of the most beautiful weeks you'll ever spend. You agree?
Do indeed, but the date's wrong. You said June 14th.
June 14th.
You told me the 21st.
Well, I lied the other day.
Yes, you did.
This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. We'll get to your calls and other subjects when we return. Welcome back. This is O'Neill Outside. We've had a lot of callers hanging on for quite a while. Let's just get to them, if you will. It's 12 after the hour. Let's first talk to Jim. And Jim is calling from a great little town called Monroe, Georgia. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, sir, Professor. How are you doing in the little lady?
You know how Monroe, Georgia got its name?
No, sir, but I'm always willing to learn something from you.
Okay. President Monroe, James Monroe. That's why it's called Monroe, Georgia.
All right.
I'm not sure of that. I just made that up.
Well,
typical fisherman.
Yeah, you can tell I'm a fisherman, and I'm lying because my lips are moving.
Well, look at it this way: if you can't give them what they want, just dazzle them with whatever you can flow.
That's exactly right. I like that. What is your subject for today's call, Jim?
Well, my subject today is I need some help. I am having a wonderful opportunity of battling our four-legged diggers, the armadillo. The one thing I'm trying to do, and I'm thinking about doing, and this is just my scope on it, I want your opinion and your advice.
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking about going and getting some grub and fire ant and other stuff killer, because I know they eat fire ants. I know they dig for grubs, and I figure if I can remove some of that from the landscape and my yard, I'll do it. However, the other problem is when you do that, then you have root rot and other problems with your lawn and all, because they do help aerate from the underside.
Yes, they do. Well, the only thing I can tell you is what you can't do. I think your plan is probably one of the ones that will work to some degree. You can't poison them because it's too indiscriminate.
Right.
I would only tell you maybe to seek some advice from somebody smarter than me, and there's a lot of those. What about telephoning the Georgia Department of Natural Resources? I'll bet they would have some advice for you, or would tell you to whom else you might speak. One of the fictitious things about armadillos, they say don't handle them because you'll get leprosy. Remember that?
Correct.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. Go ahead.
I don't think, from what I've read so far, that they've had any cases of that in Georgia. And they've also, it's very rare, but I think they said maybe 0.5% sometimes will get rabies, but it's not passed to humans, because normally if they're startled, they jump straight skyward, and then it's off to the races. So,
yeah, that's an armadillo is an insectivore. You referred to it earlier. He's an insectivore. That's why he's covered in armor, so he can dig up yellow jacket nests and not get harmed from their stings.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are a pain in some parts of the anatomy.
Yes, they are. Well, I would like to, for you to, whatever else that you find out about them, I haven't been any help to you. We don't have them up here in the North Georgia mountains. It's too cold. But they are infiltrating the greater Atlanta area in the countryside. Yes, indeed.
Well, we normally find one or two of them on Highway 11, along with a lot of couple of spotted skunks and, of course, the striped skunks up and down. And, the only other thing that I've been offered is that you could possibly, when you find where they are probably denning, is to put some ammonia down, because they don't like that. It takes away their smell.
That's good.
Capacity.
It might be worthwhile to try. Have you tried that?
I haven't tried that yet. I was just waiting to see if there was something that was a little bit easier to do as far as trying to help rid them. And the only other thing I've come up with myself, nobody's recommended it, but is to poison for grubs and for fire ants and other insects that do inhabitate around the house. So,
well, if an armadillo is around the house and on your property, he's there for food. That's the only reason.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. I didn't know.
He's there to get something to eat, and evidently you're providing it somehow.
Yeah, and
they belong out in the woods.
Amen. A long way out in the woods. So.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Right.
Y'all have a great weekend, and
bet.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed talking with you again, Professor.
You bet. Well, check that out about why Monroe is called Monroe. I'd like to know. Okay.
I'll see if I can't do that. Thank you.
Please do. Let me know. Catch you later, pal. There you go. Now let's talk to, here's with the Ram Fishing Report from Lake Lanier, here's our old buddy, Mac. Mac Farr, Captain Mac, what do you say?
Good morning, everybody. Doing all right?
Good morning, indeed. How's the fishing on Lake Lanier? Is it productive?
It's very productive, O'Neill.
I'll bet.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had a great week of weather. Fishing's been good, all species. So, and then that's kind of what I'm hearing from not just on Lanier, but all other area lakes. I'm getting really good reports from anglers fishing for all different kind of things. So it's May. That's just a good month. That's a good month.
What's the water temperature at Lake? What's the water temperature at Lake Lanier, Mac?
When I came off yesterday, it was about 75.5.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's popped right up there. And I guess that's one thing we need to talk about with people fishing, that you're going out this weekend. That's warm enough. We're starting to see a lot of transition now. Still a lot of shallow fish, but we're starting to see a lot of fish finish up the spawn. And that's moving things around a little bit, but it's also making fish really active. We're starting to see some topwater, a little bit of schooling. We're starting to get some topwater bites and fish to eat the topwater. I'm seeing more fish kind of move off on, particularly with the stripers. They're coming out of some of that shallow stuff, moving out on more main lake stuff, saddles between islands, points and humps. So definitely making a little bit of a transition, but fishing's good. It's not slowed the bite down. It's just changing things a little bit. Yeah, no, it's great.
Well, it's good for everybody, huh?
It is. It's going to be today will be a great day to fish. We got some rain coming, but man, if you can get out there before that rain, it'll be lights out. And no reason why next week won't be just as good or better.
You bet. Well, outstanding round fishing report. Lake Lanier and all other Clearwater mountain lakes like Lake Lanier, from North Georgia to Western Carolinas, East Tennessee. I spoke to somebody this week from Douglas Lake in East Tennessee, and he said the striper fishing is outstanding.
That's a good lake too. So, yeah, I'm sure they're seeing similar things. And so get your topwaters out. Live bait fishing's good. If you get in a situation here, maybe the wind starts blowing, or late in the day, or you run out of bait, you're live bait fishing. An umbrella's a really good secondary pattern right now. If you'll pull that over humps and shallow, long tapering points over a 15 to 20 foot bottom, that's been a good pattern. So lots of stuff's working. Just get out there and go fishing. It's time to go fishing.
Mighty fine. Mighty fine. Well, glad you called, pal. That's a great report. It was easy to do, wasn't it?
It's always a hoot. So I hope it helps somebody catch a fish today, and that makes it come full circle. So.
And when everybody has a cell phone with them, take plenty of photos. And I know that you do that, and you report on your website, don't you, about your fishing at Lake Lanier and all around? Absolutely. We try and put some video up, and of course you can see an expanded version of this report every week at CaptainMax.com. But yeah, take pictures. You'll be glad you did. You'll make a memory. It's in your brain, but it's good to share those around, and particularly if you got a kid with you. Make sure you get a picture. That's right. You notice that every time you take a photo of a child holding a fish, the child is smiling. That says volumes about fishing and what we do. And you're right. You see a kid holding up a fish with that big grin, doesn't get any better than that. Yep, you bet. All right, I got to go, pal. Everybody be safe. Good luck to you. Have a great weekend. Thanks, O'Neill. Yes, yes, ma'am. You bet. See you, pal. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have time for a question?
No, but I will just as soon as I get back. It's 22 after the hour. This is O'Neill. Karen will talk about me if I don't get the timing right. Welcome back, everyone. 25 after the hour. Let's get to our calls if we can. Here's our good friend, Hank. Oh, are we back? Somebody telling me not to do something? Okay. Well, I guess we're Hank the Yank. What do you say?
Yeah, a little chicken fried for bumper music. That's good stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on, Henry. Karen, I can hear you over the phone. No, that took care of that. Okay, Henry, what do you say? What do you got to tell us this Saturday morning?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. Good morning. Well,
good morning.
We fishing on Lanier has been good, just like Max said. The fly fishing bite is getting better every day. Water temps have warmed up 10 degrees in the last 10 days. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
How that water temp can shoot up like a bullet. and that really moves the fish around a lot. So we're still fishing mostly sinking lines, and the fly this week that we used is the Game Changer. Has been really our best fly. It's a articulated bait. It's sort of like a fly fisherman's Sebile, if you will. That's that's what we're using. But anyway, what I really called to talk to you about was, did you get to look at that video we did last week? Hello?
No.
You didn't look at it?
Yeah. I mean, not yet. No.
Oh, my God.
Gail Williams keeps me busy.
She keeps you busy. Holy cow! Well, we debunked the banana on the boat theory last week.
Oh,
that's
right.
We actually went out and videotaped. We videoed catching a striped bass on a banana peel, and we have that on our Facebook page. If you go to Henry Cowan on Facebook, you'll be able to see. That video that we used. It's also on Lake Lanier Fishing, but it was pretty silly.
I'm going
we
to
sat
do that
there
this morning.
Yeah, we basically took a hook and cut the banana peel to look like a fluke, and attached it and threw it into a dock light that had a lot of fish on it, and the fish ate immediately. So it was pretty silly stuff. But
you said you caught like a 10-pound striper on a banana peel?
Yes, we did. So
that's fabulous.
Isn't that ridiculous? Just
It's
ridiculous.
fabulous.
We were going to do aluminum foil. We were going to take a thing of Reynolds wrap and do the same thing. Just pull out some Reynolds wrap, pull it off a sheet off the container, and fold it in half, and make a cigar-looking piece of Reynolds wrap and put that on a hook and see if they do it. But then we decided that a banana would even be more fun, and I mean, we hooked up twice. It was just
that's
when stripers get on dock lights, O'Neill, they are just as dumb as a rock. They are. It's unbelievable.
They're there to eat.
They're there to eat. When they're on dock lights, they want to eat, and so we had a lot of fun making it. We've gotten some nice feedback and whatnot, but otherwise, I've got some friends talking about Tennessee. I've got some buddies fishing up on those lakes in Tennessee and the headwaters, right where the river kind of meets the lake, just where the running water kind of stops. And they said that the fishing up there in all those Tennessee lakes that have stripers have been just off the charts. I mean, and big fish, 30, 40-pound fish. Really good. I mean,
they're larger than the ones in Lake Lanier because the water's colder, longer.
No question about it. No question about it. I think Tennessee may have the best striper fishing from a freshwater perspective in the country.
Could be.
So, all right, buddy. Well, that's all I got for you this week. That's just get out there and give it a whirl. And, the fish should be transitioning to a little top water on the lake right now. We'll probably start seeing that today. Today you've got a prefrontal situation. We've got rain and wind coming in this afternoon, tonight through tomorrow. So today is the day. You're on the front side of that of that weather system coming in, and the fish that barometer is going to start dropping, and those fish are going to start putting on the feed bag like there's no tomorrow. Today really should be just a fantastic day for anybody who can make the time to get out and fish.
You bet. It's a good observation, and it's all so true.
Yep.
Falling barometer, you'll get bit.
No question about it. Should be a really good morning on Lanier. And any of the other lakes around the country if there's a prefrontal system coming in. And that system is going to be, this is a giant weather pattern coming in. This is from the Gulf all the way up through the Northeast. This is one big system coming through. So anybody who can get on the front side of that system should have really good success today if they go out and fish. I hope Richard is listening. Richard in West Virginia, if it's going to rain, get your butt out there and get a rod out there and go catch yourself a fish today. You'll catch one. Even you'll catch one.
You bet. I'm going to talk to Richard in the next couple of minutes.
Okay, pal. Well, look, have a great weekend.
You bet. See you later, pal. There you go. And you had something left over from Facebook?
I did, yes. I believe it was Jonathan wanted to know if the bass are still bedding in North Georgia.
Yes, according to the temperature of the water, whatever lake you're fishing, yes, they are, but don't fish for them. Please, observe, take a look, understand what's going on. Personally, I don't fish for largemouth when they're on the bed. Of course, you can say, well, I caught her off the bed and returned her to the water so she could go back to the bed, but you don't know that. And I would tell you that if you catch a female off the bed and you remove her from her spawning process, then whatever lake you're fishing in, you just caught 1,000 12-inch bass. So in the interest of bass population, I do not, and I don't recommend that you fish for female largemouth bass on the bed. They're males all around there. Just catch them because they probably deserve it. All right, is that okay? She's reading another question.
I'm sure it was just fine.
Okay. All right, so let's talk to Richard in West Virginia. My good friend Richard from West Virginia. How are you? Good morning, sir.
That's kind of interesting that, who was that, Hank the Yank that mentioned my name?
Yes.
It really was, to think of something like that. But when you're fishing, whether it's raining or it's not, I was just thinking if you could get yourself a nice plump 3 or 4 inch night crawler and hook it through the head and put a little weight on it to fish like that in a pond, it seems like to me that should be the easiest way that a fish would look at something like that, a big old night crawler just laying there. Isn't that a good way to fish like that to catch bass?
Absolutely. Bass, brim, all kind of panfish will eat a earthworm or something of that, a red wiggler, a night crawler, absolutely. And the attraction to that bait is not just the action, but the smell. That's what attracts the fish to that bait.
But see, I was wondering.
Night crawlers, that's a wonderful bait for shell cracker.
Okay, I don't even know what a shell cracker is. I was just, what's that? Is that a southern fish? I never even heard of a shell cracker.
It's a southeastern fish, and for the untutored, if you were to catch one, a shell cracker, it looks like a great big brim. So unless you would know the difference, you wouldn't be able to tell. The shell cracker is more light colored than a brim is. A brim's dark colored. Shell cracker is light colored, but he's bigger by and large than a brim is. But brim and shell cracker love night crawlers, and that's a good way to catch them.
Well, I've heard you talk about brim, but I don't know what that is either. Is that like a perch?
A lot of people would call a brim a perch. Yes.
Okay, that's just the way they speak in the South. Because maybe up here in the North.
Yeah, I mean, there's bluegill, there's night crawlers. I mean, bluegill, shell cracker. There's long-eared sunfish, and to the untutored, they all look the same. Just different.
Yeah, because I was just thinking. See, the one thing I was trying to make, just hooking it through the head and leaving the one part there makes it more appetizing to a fish than hooking it through the head and the middle and the tail and making a ball out of it. I was just thinking.
That is correct.
That'd be the best way to do it.
That is correct. Let him wiggle.
All right. Thanks,
let him wiggle.
O'Neill.
Throw him out there on a sandy bottom. He'll get bit.
Okay. Thanks, O'Neill.
You bet. Appreciate you listening to the show, Richard, and hearing from you every week. I really do. And thank you. Let's see if I can make this thing work. Thank you, Richard. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. It's almost 36 after the hour. And upon our return in 3 minutes, the very, very special portion of our program, and we'll get to that, and that is the Medal of Honor tribute. And I won't go through the reasons why that became a feature in the show. Maybe many of you already know that. But it is certainly the high point of the 2 hours of our programming on WSB AM 750 and 95.5 and the Sports Broadcast Nation and throughout Texas and Pennsylvania all the way to Maine via WEEI. So you guys stay right there. Medal of Honor's coming up.
Honor, courage, and strength of character. These qualities are embodied by the recipients of the Medal of Honor. Now let's recognize this week's Medal of Honor recipient on O'Neill Outside.
Francis Curry, Private First Class, Belgium, December 1944. German tanks advanced to the 3rd platoon's position and after prolonged fighting forced the withdrawal of the group to a nearby building. Curry found a bazooka in the building, and in the face of small arms and machine gun fire, he knocked out a tank with one shot. Moving to another position, he observed 3 Germans in the doorway of an enemy-held house. He killed all 3. He emerged from the cover and advanced along to within 50 yards of the house. Covered by friendly fire, he stood erect and fired a shot which knocked down half of one wall, killing several of the Germans. 5 Americans had been pinned down for hours by fire from the house and 3 tanks. Realizing they could not escape, he secured anti-tank grenades, and while under heavy enemy fire, drove the tank men from the vehicles and allowed the 5 soldiers to escape. He then climbed into a half-track in full view of the Germans and killed several. Deprived of tanks and with heavy infantry casualties by his heroic and repeated braving of murderous enemy fire, Curry was greatly responsible for inflicting heavy losses in men and material on the enemy, rescuing the 5 comrades, 2 of which were wounded, and for stopping the attack. Francis Curry, Belgium, 1944, and he is now deceased.
You had a hard time with that one, didn't you?
I read them over and over and over again, and I can put myself in those positions.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because these guys sacrifice themselves.
Yep.
For their comrades.
And this is the thing about you reading that. I don't ever see you get like that.
No,
except
I
when
don't.
you're doing that.
I can't help it.
Yep.
So, okay, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. We had someone contact us on Facebook and with a cure for the armadillos.
He's got a friend who has 2 German shepherds, and his yard is littered with armadillo corpse.
Those German shepherds will take care of the armadillos.
Yep.
In short order. Yeah. So.
2 German shepherds. There you go.
Yeah, there you are.
There's have a friend for life.
That's a really smart dog. It's funny how I read about things a lot. The 2 smartest breeds of dogs that we know of. The 2 smartest. The smartest is a border collie, and the second is a French poodle. And I'm just say he can't help about his haircut.
That's right, he can't.
but he's really smart.
Mm.
And one of the dumbest.
You better not say what I think you're going to.
Well,
what?
I got that off of a television show when the guy was sitting. It was one of those dog shows, and he was sitting on a bench, a wooden bench, with a beagle next to him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say dogs, and I was going to have to come across the table.
He was sitting on a bench with a beagle next to him, and he said that beagle was about as smart as the bench he was sitting on. Now, he may have been wrong. I don't know. I know that they should sure smell out and chase a rabbit. That's for sure. And Gail and I were watching a Discovery Channel show, and amazed to find that skiers and snowmobilers and things of that nature who happen to be victims of a what am I looking for? Avalanche. That the best tool that they have to find people who are buried in an avalanche quickly, it's a dog.
It's a dog, yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And he'll dig a little hole and stick his nose down into the snow and start howling, and this is where they are right here.
Yeah.
Dig them out.
And they start just digging like crazy.
Digging like mad because they know that dog smells them.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm talking about the dog starts digging like crazy when he finds that there's a person there.
Oh, yeah.
He's helping them.
Mm-hmm. He knows where they live. 46 after the hour, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. It gives me the opportunity to remind you, because we have so many deer in neighborhoods all over the country, it's time for the fawns to be out. If you're on the road, you're walking in the neighborhood, taking a nature hike, whatever the case might be, and you see a fawn, and think, oh, this poor little thing is lost. Mother has abandoned him. I guess I probably should take him home. No, you shouldn't. Mother is there close by. She has the fawn placed there for safekeeping. She may be off eating. She may just be taking cover because you're there. Wildlife doesn't belong in your house. I don't know about the other states in the southeast and across the country, but I can, a few. But I can tell you that white-tailed deer belong to the state. They do not belong to individuals. Now, I know in Texas and some of other places you can own white-tailed deer. In Georgia, the minimum size for a high fence for you to keep them corralled, if you will, for whatever purposes, the minimum is 300 acres. I know I admittedly, on a couple of occasions a few years ago, I did hunt on a high fence. But I was fortunate enough to be friends with a man who had enough money to fence in 1,500 acres. So the deer didn't know there was a fence there.
Well, it wasn't to keep the deer in.
Correct.
Closed. It was to keep poachers out.
Well, that was in Africa. That was a high fence there, and I've forgotten how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres. But that was to keep the poachers out. I hunted a high fence near El Paso one time. That was hundreds of acres, but that fence, I'm glad you brought it up, that fence was to keep the goats out. Mm-hmm. Because the goat breed like mad, and they eat everything. Mm-hmm. So his program of raising big whitetails would have been put in jeopardy if the goats were to make their home there.
Of course, they wouldn't have any food.
Yeah, so 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Let's refresh my screen there. See if we have a call. We don't want to eliminate everybody. Oh, hey, here's Alan, and Alan is calling from Ellijay about armadillos again. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you,
Alan?
O'Neill?
Lovely. You got a cure for the armadillos, or what do you have to say?
Well, about 5 years ago, first time I saw armadillo in East Ellijay, somebody had ran over it there on 52 highway. But anyway, this past Wednesday morning, I had to stop in the road, and I live 5 miles above Ellijay, and let the armadillo cross the road in front of me.
Oh, my goodness. They're that far north now.
Yeah, we do have armadillos.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I haven't seen one. You know, we live near Amicalola Falls State Park here in the mountains, and I've yet to see one here. They're probably going up 75 or 575. They're going up that road.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I know. About Burnt Mountain there. I've been all over that place when I was a boy. But it's a wonderful place to live. But the armadillos they're moving in on us.
Oh boy. Well, the yellow jackets won't like it, and but
true.
Nevertheless, they're harmless critters other than the fact that they dig up your yard.
Yeah, they make a mess. I grew up in Florida, so I know about the armadillo.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. You got plenty of them down there.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I'd just let
I'm glad you
know
called, sir.
about that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate your show. Every Saturday mornings, going down the road to work, I listen at you.
Well, good. I appreciate you listening to the program and for your kind comments. It's always a thrill when somebody gives me a call and say they listen every week and they get something out of it. Most of the information, of course, comes from my guests, but it makes it fun. We've been doing it now for 28 years. Isn't that something?
That's amazing, isn't it? Time
Yes,
gets
it is.
by in a hurry, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's one day at a time. Thanks for calling, pal. Have a good week working here.
Thank you, O'Neill. Bless
you bet. See you later. There you go. There goes Alan, calling from Ellijay, Georgia. What a great little town.
It is indeed.
Yes, Corey. Oh, he is. I didn't realize that. Well, that was Francis Curry, and he is not deceased. So that I'm proud.
That makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and maybe he can bask in the glory of his anticipated sacrifice.
Yep.
Yeah. There's only,
Happy to hear that.
I think I'm reasonably correct, and thank you, Corey. I'm reasonably correct. I think there's been only 1,500 awardees for the Medal of Honor.
Really?
All the way back to the Indian Wars, through the Civil War, and through all the wars that were involved with this country. 1,500.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's
Many
and
heroes.
about 60% of them died during that activity. Go visit O'Neill. I tell you what, visit if you'd like to further explanation. Check my figures, and just got advised that Sergeant Francis Curry is still alive, which thrills me. Then you can visit O'NeillOutside.com, and there on that home page you scroll down and you will see the Medal of Honor emblem, and you can click on that and get the full archive, all of the stories. As a matter of fact, we watched, there's on television, it must be the History Channel, I don't remember, but they have dramatic television productions of the men who won or was awarded the Medal of Honor. You don't win it. No.
You receive it.
You receive it. You are awarded the Medal of Honor.
Where did you get that information?
From there. That I had failed to make a note whether he's alive, and this was 1944.
Oh.
70 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was at least 20 years old.
Well, that generation
so I
is
assumed he was
passing.
probably deceased, but
Yeah.
I stand corrected, and I'm happy about that.
Me too.
Yeah, you bet. So, okay, we've got to take a break here. We want to squeeze in the remaining 2 minutes, a couple of calls. Albert is calling from, just a moment, let me bring you up there, Albert. Albert is calling from New Hampshire. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, O'Neill, how you doing this morning?
Good. Glad to hear from you, sir.
Good, thank you for having your show up here. First, I want to just confirm we have no armadillos here in New Hampshire, so I have not confirmed any sightings of them. So that's
There's
good.
something good
So
about that.
Yeah, that's good. So pretty cold. So trout ponds are open up here. Fish are biting. Merrimack River's got some trout in it. So anybody who's listening up here in the Northeast, get out there and get some fishing done. So I haven't caught any yet, but I've been fishing, and I know they're out there because they're staring at me through the water. So there's a little.
Okay,
here's a little Northeast.
Here's a tip. Here's a tip for you for trout fishing. Ready?
Yes.
Wear camo.
That's a good one.
They can't see you as well.
So my fluorescent green jogger outfit isn't going to work, huh?
That'll work. Don't ever wear anything white. They can see you.
Nice.
Glad you called, pal. I got to go. Call next week, Albert, earlier in the show. Would you do that?
Thank you, sir. I will.
You bet. There you go. And lastly, if I got time for this, I'll make time quickly then. Let's talk to Tucker in Alabama. Good morning, Tucker. Is Tucker there from Alabama?
Is this you, O'Neill?
Yes, it is. You better hurry.
All right, O'Neill, I'll make it quick. I live over near Norris Lake. I want to take my grandchildren fishing. What type of fish is over there?
Crappie, or the lake is loaded with crappie and brim, and it's time to go get them.
Is it good for the grandchildren?
Yes, sir. Start out right there at the dock and go up to where that bridge crosses the lake.
I know exactly where it is.
Both sides of that bridge is outstanding. All right, I got to go, pal. Call earlier next week.
Take care. Now,
you bet. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside with Woman Williams, Karen Green, Brian Green, and the staff at WSB. And thanks for calling, everybody. And keep this in mind. If you're too busy to go fishing and take a kid along, you're too busy.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to O'Neill Outside on my radio. O'Neill, O'Neill, O'Neill Outside.